It's Saturday morning, and we don't put no content out on Saturdays. We take breaks on Saturdays. Hello, people. Hello, viewers. Another beautiful day. Yep. Hope your five senses work. Health and strength is good or excellent. What? All right, I got some news for you, Proton lovers, on the Steam Deck. We got some news for you. Nice little piece of news. Listen to this. It says here, Proton. I just seen this. It says Proton 9.0 RC2 makes more Windows games playable on Linux. Other fixes. It says here, Valve and Codeweaver today released the Proton 9.0 release candidate 2 build based off Wine 9.0 for powering Steam Play to enjoy an excellent assortment of modern and legacy Windows games on Linux. Valve and their partners at Codeweaver have been busy with Proton 9.0 update the past number of months, and today rolls out the second release candidate as the stable Proton 9.0 release nears. Then it says here, games now playable with Proton 9.0 RC2 that previously only works with Proton 9 experimental includes Sonic Colors, Ultimate Command and Conquer Red Alert 2, Yuri's Revenge, Command and Conquer Tiberian Sun, Firestorm, A Sling and the Tavern of Elves, Snares of Ruins 2, Insanity Blade, Bloody Walls. Proton 9.0 RC2 also fixes a wide range of games regressions seen previously on Proton 9 builds, audio fixes, various game specific fixes, and also limiting the number of cores visible to selected game titles in order to make them playable on high core count CPUs. Then it says among the games where the number of visible cores being exposed are being reduced on high core count system include Far Cry 2, Far Cry 4, Warhammer 40,000, Dawn of War 2, Retribution, Prototype, Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light, The Witcher 2, and others. And then it says, anything else? That is that. So yeah, Proton just got some update, folks. Let me see if I can shut this down real quick. Close this out. But Proton is getting update, and Valve and Codeweaver has been busy. Yeah, and it's showing. That's for sure. It is showing, and this helps the Linux gamers, whether on laptop, desktop, or the Steam Deck. Yeah. And like I've always told you, especially on the Steam Deck, keep your storage in check. That two terabytes of storage, that's gonna come in handy, especially when these Proton updates be rolling out, be coming in. So yeah, but other than that, man, Proton is updated, and new game, it will help a lot of games, from Far Cry to Warhammer to Command and Conquer to Sonic Colors. Oh yeah, with Sonic Colors you need GE Proton for that. Yeah. Got 11 comments here. Let's see what people are talking about here in the comment sections. Show me. See what these commenters are talking about here. Somebody says Valve and Codeweaver today released the Proton 9.0 release build. Oh no. Okay, that's the administrator. On the comment section, Linux is literally becoming a vast more compatible gaming platform than Windows. I am loving gaming on Linux these days. Now I have an excuse to back and play RA2 relive the early gaming days. He's talking about Red Alert, RA2 commanding, and then somebody says, and I remember in the 2000s wrestling with getting games to work on Wine, and then surprisingly some games, most OpenGL works better running under Wine than Windows. Then he says probably because of so many stub functions versus Windows functionality that really did not do anything or did something that we would prefer. And then he said back then it was the case that many times using actual Windows libs would make things work under Wine. Have not had to do that in the last decade though, although TBH, I just use Steam, as the vast majority of my games are now on Steam versus back in the day, and even many of those would use the license key to add your Steam ability. I mean Steam library. It says I really miss the nice mutual and other paraphernalia that used to come with games though. Some, e.g. Fallout Games Manual, were exemplary. Ultima Games, Clothes Map, now it costs 1,000K on a crappy Kickstarter to get stuff like that. And you're lucky to get a PDF manual at all on most Steam games. Somebody said here, I am just not sure why anything like this needs to exist as a separate project. Why can't their work just go into Wine itself? And then another person here says because Wine wouldn't accept most of it. RB said this, for example, there is this nasty slowdown effect with Wine. When I went to play the GOG version of Horizon Zero Dawn, it is a well-known issue, but doesn't want to change to implementation, so Proton had to fix it in their Wine forks. All right. Then someone else here says gaming on Linux is getting way better all the time, mostly thanks to Valve Proton Steam Deck /Wine. But for every hey, this 20-year-old works on Linux, not Windows, Windows 11, there are at least a dozen games that don't work at all or are janky as on Linux and complete crash on certain maps. And I say this as someone posting from Tumbleweed just after finishing a round of an esport platform fighter through Steam. Proton that even uses easy anti-cheat. Okay, let me see if I can close this here. Someone here says it's fantastic seeing how quickly Wine and its forks have been advancing lately with Windows compatibility. This is Abacus. Abacus said this. It's fantastic seeing how quickly Wine and its fork has been advancing lately with the compatibility, especially games. It would be nice to see more improvements in productivity enterprise software like Adobe Creative Clouds and Autodesk. There's a lot of third-party software available these days, GNU/Linux system, but not every developer can want to natively support them. If we could get to the point where we could run most of it, not all Windows binaries, without actually having to use Windows, that would be great, because Microsoft seems desperate to it up as much as possible. Also, some devs as Bungie and Riot likely intentionally sabotage Wine/Proton compatibility, and that needs to be combated as well. And then let's see here, who is this? And then Neo said this. Currently running Chimera OS on all AMD system. 2 games that I had fun with have some really weird issues. Then he says, Wrath of the Dead Rabbits has a weird issue at startup. No background music whatsoever. The accent, and then it says, has a weird glitch with some features, but more importantly, enabling ray tracing thanks the performance from over 80 or so FPS to 70 FPS at 4K on my 7900 XTX. And it says, overall, I had a great luck with many games on Linux than Windows. Then somebody else here says, who is this? He says, why are you ignoring the many modern games that also works? I play modern games all the time on Linux. Some games don't work and some games work but are not perfect. Implying that it's bad that they also work on retro games is dishonest. There are many people that work on this for free. I am really grateful. I don't understand the vitriol against free things just because it's not perfect yet. Good point. And anything else? Man, let's see. Any more comments? One more. And I got 2 more comments here. Someone else here says, dude, play through RV2, then Yuri Revenge, then look up the Metal Omega mod. It has an insane amount of content and is polished as, can you say that word? Anyway, then someone else here says, is this in beta / experimental or have to, no, is this in beta / experimental / or have to manually add it? And those are all the comments on Proton. So yeah, Proton has its advantages and disadvantages, and Valve is working on Valve and Codeweaver is always working on Proton. So they come out with some new updates to improve things, and then the users, they're sharing their feedbacks and their experience and what they like and what they like to see improve, and what they dislike. So yeah, but as always, they always gonna bash on Windows versus Linux. The saga continues. But other than that, man, yeah, the gaming industry moves on, man. The gaming industry moves on, man. But yeah, Valve is on it, man. They came out with that Steam Deck, man, and yeah. They said we couldn't find a game the Steam Deck couldn't run. Send a message, they did. And of course some developers was gonna use since they're not big fan on Linux, or they try to take shots at Linux, like, let's see here, Bungie, Epic Games, Riot. I think it was Riot that was talking about, we never said we're gonna make games for Linux and all this, but but that's their prerogative. But other than that, man, gaming on Linux is good. The Steam Deck has brought life into the Linux gaming community, and ever since Valve been on it. So, and they're always trying to get old Windows games to work on Linux, and even Microsoft helps too. So yeah, but other than that, man, gaming on Linux in 2024 is good. Proton is always getting updates because there's Proton hotfixes, Proton experimental, VK D3D Proton from Valve, and GE Proton. So all those Protons are always getting Proton is always getting updated all the time. So to make the gaming experience on Linux, on the Linux overall, a good experience. So Valve is on it. Valve and Code Weavers. So yeah. And the games that they have here is Far Cry 2, 4, Warhammer 40,000, Dawn of War, Retribution, Prototype, Lara Croft, Witcher 2, and others. So yeah. And that gaming list on the Steam Deck is growing. Oh yeah. Growing. So yeah. But other than that, yeah. Gaming on Linux is awesome. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Nice talking to you people again. Chris, still Star Wars and Star Trek fan. Borg, Dark Side. Go. Peace.